and I'm not distracted. And my priority for the governance team is give guidance. You don't have to write that. That's cool.
Okay. Who do you want to hear from next?
Hannah.
All right. Hello, everyone. So my check-in is that today I am going to sprint on the email stuff until it's done, because that kind of got off my radar and I just kind of forgot about it. So we're going to do that, and I'm sorry that I forgot. And let's see. That also just personal update. I'm in Panama and it's amazing, and I'm going to Costa Rica in a month and super, super excited, and I want to try to see people if I can. So, and I don't want to go home, but don't tell my parents. So that's it for me. I will pass it to Forrest.
Hello, buenos dias. I like that plan, Hannah. Looking forward to meeting you in person. I'm feeling sunburned, as you can probably tell. Looking like Kai's umbrella. My focus for this week is content writing and editing and GitHub cleanup and road mapping. And priority for governance team. Yeah, I hope we're able to come up with our MVV statement today. That would be really cool. And just, syncing up and seeing if there's any other pending things for us to discuss. I'm here for it. I will pass it to Mitch.
Hello, everyone. This week, I'd like to, like we were saying, Kai, update the trace documentation and get everything we have ready, uploaded to the docs. I'd like to put away this unicorn debate this week and find a new name. Apart from that, I'd like to hear what needs to be tested on Trace and IO. And I think that's it. Oh, and I'd like to get the emails updated with Ashley this week as well. And that's it for me. And I will pass it to Ashley.
I'm feeling slightly tired this morning, but I'm here and it's good to see you guys. My focus for this week, well, personally, my visa expires right in the middle of our retreat, so I need to figure out how to deal with that. But then Giveth-wise, this week I want to be able to schedule a few more interviews and do the emails with Mitch and just kind of get the rest of the docs buttoned up. My intentions for the call are just to sync up with everybody and see what's going on in here. So I will pass it to Lauren.
Good morning, everyone. I just want to say I'm so excited right now because I have a monitor and it's so much easier to live stream because I can have the one video here and not have all my layers on top of each other on my desktop. So I just want to share that. But my focus for the week, I really want to support and push the comms around the Trace launch. So part of that, I really want to make sure that we get all of our documentation updated, like Mitch was saying. So with all the Trace docs, but then also the other ones, we're basically almost all complete this wiki to docs thing. So I just really want to keep us going in that direction. And I also want to do more work on the liquidity providing spreadsheet for the Giveth token. Those are my focuses. And for the governance call, I'm super excited. If we could hammer out a little bit more of a clear mission vision thing, and love the unicorn debate. And I'll pass it to Monique.
Hello, everybody. Good morning, good evening. I'm a little bit feel, I have a headache right now. But my distraction is I have planning right after this meeting, and I don't have special major user stories because everything is foggy, especially for IDX and verifying the projects. I have to make it more clear, and I couldn't till now. And my intention for this meeting is just to sync up with everyone and get to know things better, especially for the discussion about MVV for by Willie. That I will pass it to Kai. It looks fantastic today, man.
I went first.
Yes, sir. I already went. Yeah, next one, please.
We can go to Marco.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Hi, Kai. You're looking handsome, man.
Visit me.
Yeah. Yeah, not far away. My intentions, sync up with you guys, see what's next. Basically, that's basically it. No further updates from my end. I'm doing good. Back into the whirlwind. A lot of stuff to be done. I'm not sure where to look first. I'm gonna burn out soon, probably. I'm worried about myself. My health's maybe compromised. No. Okay, sorry, I went too far. I'm good. Who's next?
Mateo.
Mateo.
Hey everyone, happy week. No, my intentions for this call is to sync up with everyone and see how I can help. For this week, I want to focus a lot on development and keep Carlos sync with the process in the development of Giveth 2, and that's it. Who's missing?
Probably me. Okay, I'll stop typing and look at you all while I speak. I'm actually feeling a lot of anxiety right now. Like, I think I was putting everything off and working and focused and moving through that big push for the last couple of weeks. And just in the last couple of days, my mind is really whirling, big decisions, feeling anxious. Just going to put that out there. My heart's racing. Just been feeling that a little bit, and I want to name it for you all because, Marco, I heard you start to share something, and it definitely rang my bell. So my focus is to get through this next week peacefully and gracefully with some big decisions I have to make in my life. And my life always affects all my project teams because I work with the people I love on the things I love. And I'm excited for our retreat and to move through that. And I probably will need to create some space for myself after that for just a moment. So I've been working to kind of step back, and I see all of you stepping up, and it makes me sad because I'm not in all of the things. And also it's very necessary for my well-being that I follow through on this path that I'm taking to kind of step back a little bit on some of these things. So I feel conflicted, and thank you for receiving my share in that way. And all that said, my priority is making sure that all the things on this agenda are covered and have somebody responsible for them, and we're taking the steps we need to on them. And I think that's everybody. So, although I see a Griff passing around, maybe I get to pass it to Griff now.
What was the question?
What's your focus for
It's your turn to check in.
If you have any governance things.
Focus for the week is getting the stuff on Rinkeby deployed so we can all play with it, which is really fun. We had some stoppers, but it's I think all the blockers are blown through, so we'll see what Fabio can do today. And for governance, no, I don't have any specific topics.
Okay, so the things that we have on the agenda for the week is to get a status from Mitch on the Giveth community name change, aka the Givecorn proposal. There is a poll. I put a link in here in the governance channel for Discord. Maybe y'all can pop over there right now and make your selections. You can do that while we're right here on the item. I'm going to go look at it. We can see. Okay. So as of now, Givethers is the clear lead. Wish I could see everybody. And then Givecorns is still in there. Give Tributers is a cool word. I like the concept.
It's literally too long.
It's just
So unicorn is definitely out.
Oh,
that's what I heard in my proposal. I went through the notes. This is my process. I went through the gov notes. I looked at it, and I didn't see anybody saying we must remain unicorn. So like I took that and I said, okay, so we need to change the name. So that's where we're at. So I took the 3 ones that I liked. You vote on it. I'll take that and I'll update my proposal, and then we'll go from there.
Added unicorn.
I don't really dislike unicorn. I mean, yeah, okay. I put unicorn in there. I added a unicorn emoji.
Regardless of what you change our names to.
Well, and so let's just do a quick check-in round, and maybe Willie will arrive. I know he said 10 minutes. We're at 16 minutes, but he has a spot in this conversation as well. But I just think it's important we just check in. We're voting on something different. Is there anybody who's still feeling some heart palpitations at the thought of not being a unicorn? Lauren, please go ahead. I heard you start to speak.
Change really quickly if we don't have something we really like. But maybe if everybody likes Givethers, it's cool to change it. But otherwise, I think like it's not like necessary to change our name. And if we just leave it a unicorn until something feels good, it also feels fine to me. But seems like people like Givethers.
Forrest, do you have a position on this?
I think of what's been shared so far. Givethers, yeah, works for me as well. I think it's good to delineate something unique besides just givers.
You're arriving into there's the simple poll in the governance channel right now on YouTube or on Discord, and we have 3 alternate names being proposed, but we're kind of just checking in right now to make sure that there isn't anyone with unspoken objection to moving away from unicorn.
No objection.
I mean, I don't want to keep anybody behind or keep the team back or hold them back from changing something if everybody wants to change it. I don't want to be the person that holds it back. But I don't know, there's something special about that. And it's like, even as we're going through this dev hiring process and everything, we're like looking for our unicorn dev. It's like when you find like the diamond in the rough, and it makes sense that the Ethereum realm has a lot of unicorns because it is kind of like the diamond in the rough of the blockchain. But I don't know. I don't want to keep everybody back from moving forward if everybody wants to change the name. But when I first joined the team, that was definitely part of the appeal. And seeing Willie at ETH Denver with the unicorn horn, I was like, yeah, this is my team. So I don't know.
Thanks, Ashley. Willie, are you in a place where you can express yourself on this?
Oh, I can express myself, yeah. I'm the only one in this whole office right now. So I hear and agree with a lot of the different opinions. I agree with Lauren's thought that we don't necessarily need to change this, but at the same time, the reason we're talking about this is that community members have voiced their desire to change this, or at least consider it. And I'm open to it. You know, I like unicorns, but I'm not married to it. And if it's, I do appreciate that it can be a little bit alienating, and we shouldn't have, you know, core terms that are alienating. So if people feel this way on the team, then it's probably, I think there's probably merit to that opinion. And but I'm not sure if Givecorn or would solve it. Givether, I'm cool with. And I did really like your thought as well, Danny, where maybe we have Givethers as a term for anyone contributing, but for the, you know, multi-sig holders, which we don't have, but those types of like really core team members, maybe we could use the term Givecorn. but does that really solve the initial challenge? Not necessarily. So it's a tough one. It's a really tough one, and I don't have very strong enough feelings to try and move the ship. But I think that the way we're going about it, I will say, is healthy. I'm glad that it's good for us to challenge ourselves with these types of questions.
Yeah, I super appreciate that we have something like this that we can use our kind of sociocracy skills. I'm also looking for maybe a bit of practical input. And Marco, I wonder if from your design experience across the different realms you're working on, if you have any insight on this proposal that you'd like to share.
Nothing particular. I'm not sure how this is strictly or any design related in that sense. Not sure what you meant by that.
Well, it's sort of that fantastical element of our community. So if that is something that we're going to continue to embrace, then we would want it to kind of appear in our design look, right? If we were to continue to refer to ourselves as unicorns on a regular basis, that would be something that would influence our public presentation in some way, I would think.
Yeah, I think like unicorns, like if we keep that, it's kind of works well with the brand refresh that we did recently. So I think that's fine. One of the things that like Ashley said was like that was something that draw her to the community, the unicorns, and she felt like, oh, this is my home, this is my family. So that got me thinking a little bit like whether we should maybe keep that. On the other hand, I was also asking myself, where did this question even come from? What was the challenge initially? Why are we even changing that? I know there was something in the docs and stuff like that, but like, is that like the reason enough that we need to change that? But I don't know, like, from the design perspective, Givethers is fine, unicorns is fine, Givecorns or something like that. I don't think that works. So I would just say like Givethers. That's cool. It's easily pronounced. So like I'm okay with that if you want to change the unicorns from unicorns. But yeah, that's all I gotta say to that.
Mm-hmm. I could keep naming people, but I'm just going to pause for a moment. Anybody else want to say something?
Yes. I like what the people who went before me said. Historically speaking, like both terms, unicorn and Giveth, were in use and came like naturally through expression of like whatever the community is or whoever. And I also don't think we necessarily need to change it, but if there is big pressure to have different namings, Giveth is fine. And as I said, I think it's been used before. We used it kind of like when you have like the serious name for something and the nickname for something. The longer form, we said us Giveth is ... So that I think it's fine. But I also don't think it's necessarily the most important thing to, that we need this change. But if we need a change, sure. No Givecorns, please. I like the Giveth. It's almost a word.
Yeah. Okay. I think I feel comfortable wrapping this up. The conversation at this point. What I think I'm hearing is the context from this comes from rewriting all of our documentation and seeing that unicorn was really liberally sprinkled. And being a unicorn is something that's both attractive, and I've heard so many people say, I want to be a unicorn. How can I be a unicorn with Giveth? So there is an element of it that I don't think is ever going to go away because of this ecosystem that we're in. And I like embracing it in certain places. But for the purposes of what Mitch is asking for in this particular proposal and how to update the docs, I think we just shift the needle more towards the Giveth, because Kai's right. We've always used both in some way. in communication. So let's go with, it sounds like Giveth is the win. Our documentation can lean more heavily to that. And then we're probably still always going to have our unicorn contingent. And there are ways that we can express that in less official capacities, maybe even still by the unicorn Discord role, right? That's not really an official thing, but it's a way that we can identify those of us who have significant ability to contribute and have been for a while. So unless anybody else has a significant thought on this, I think we let Mitch wrap up the proposal through the regular process. Do you have everything you need?
Yeah, I think it's pretty clear from this discussion.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I heard from 3 different people that we want to talk MVV in today's meeting and see if we can make some progress on that. I think we had said that after our last meeting, because we wrapped it up pretty quick, that we could move into this. Do you guys feel comfortable taking the next part of our meeting time today to take a look at our mission, vision, and value statement and see if we can come up with something out of all the different ones? Cool. Sure. All right. I'm going to pass it over then so Willie can share the appropriate spreadsheet for us to look at.
Cool.
And I'll take notes.
I just pasted it in the governance notes too, down in topic and discussion notes. So I pasted all the different stakeholder vision statements that we came up with at the last workshop. I tried to grab some themes that I saw recurring and kind of standing out in these different statements. Peer-to-peer, public goods, future of giving, inclusive, rewarded, transparent, efficient, collaborative, easy, unstoppable. Should add number high. And then during this meeting, just kind of threw together a quick draft. This is not by any means perfect, but I thought this was, I wanted to follow Griff's direction that he was saying yesterday of like, let's, start with a proposal and start with something and then work from there. So this is kind of a draft vision statement that I think includes a lot of these, but again, I want to massage it and get feedback from everybody, and hopefully we can come up with a final vision statement. But yeah, this vision statement, just to set the stage, this should be a short statement that doesn't give all the details, but gives a nice guiding light of where we want to go. And we're going to use this internally for these upcoming workshops to help guide us in setting our goals, our metrics, and our roadmap. But also this will be something that we can publish externally so that people can really quickly understand what the heck it is that we're all doing here. So what I got so far is Giveth is the decentralized, community-owned organization building the future of giving. We envision a future where giving is free, easy, transparent, rewarded, and unstoppable. I don't love just listing out these adjectives. It's not the most elegant way to craft a vision statement, but there's so much that we're building that in a couple minutes before this, or during this meeting, I couldn't come up with a more eloquent way to state all that. So I'll open it up now for thoughts, feedback, ideas, and how we can improve this.
All right, let's move all the way around. I'm gonna ask Matteo to start. Matteo, what do you think of this statement so far?
Yeah, I believe it's pretty clear. I am with Willie on saying that naming the adjectives like that, like a list, is like not the most elegant way to do it, but I agree that is a clearer way. I would like to give it more thought on how maybe the structure of that phrase could be, but the statement is quite clear for me. I'll pass it to Lauren.
Yeah, I'm thinking it could just be like tweaked by being like a little bit more specific. I like kind of what we had before where it was like funds flow easily, efficiently, and transparently to where they make the most impact. And I think like some variation of that and kind of like including maybe like the rewards to contributors, to givers. So it's like we can break up these adjectives by adding a little bit more specificity on like what those adjectives are describing, like whether they're contributors or givers, or like the ease of use of the platform or something. But yeah, it's still nice. I mean, I like all the words. They're good words. And I'll pass it to Griff.
Sure. Yeah, I actually, no, I have my own screen,
Okay.
but I'll talk through yours.
Okay.
I don't know. We'll see how it works out. Either way, I like it. I feel like it's a great start, and you identified the biggest problems with it. I think we can. I think we could even just say Giveth is a decentralized community building the future of giving, and we can cut out some of the cut it short a little bit, and then adding maybe one more sentence that kind of breaks up these adjectives would work really well.
I do really like this first sentence that we came up with the last session too, Lauren.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I liked it a lot. I used it a lot already just in writing other things.
I think I just want to say one feedback. I really feel like because our tagline is building the future of giving, we don't need to have it in the statement. I just feel like we overuse that statement and it's already the tagline. So why does it need to be in the vision? And that gives us more room for other sentences.
Yeah. I'd be open to taking it out of the vision because we do use it as our tagline. That's fair. At the same time, I do kind of like this sentence and how, in this other one, how we kind of just explain what that future looks like. So maybe tying it in could work.
Mm-hmm. Marco, what do you think?
I don't know. I need to give it more thought. I need to read out everything else and then try to combine into something. I mean, this one is pretty short, and yeah, a lot of words, like one after another. But then when I'm reading the prior vision statement, to me, it's better than this new one.
Yeah.
I don't know. So like, I definitely want to spend a little more time with this and then figure out the new statement. Can't do it ad hoc here on this call.
Okay. Ashley, any thoughts?
I do agree that the draft one feels a little flat and that we could make it a little more like rich. And I think Lauren had some good ideas about, maybe putting in what it is that those adjectives are describing. I think the person who reads it, we want to like paint a picture for them, right? So they're like seeing the same vision that we're seeing whenever they read it. And right now, it describes what we're doing and our goals, but it's missing the like flavor.
Well said.
Mm-hmm.
We need some flavor.
Right. Mitch?
I agree with Griff's comments. And then just like everyone's saying, we can add again a couple more sentences, just fleshing out the different ideas instead of just cramming them in there. Yeah. I can give it to Monique.
Great.
Well, I like it more ambitious. To be more ambitious. Statements is not just the sentence that we are. It's all about our dream. I think so. I don't have any clear suggestion right now for this sentence,
No,
but yeah, I love it to be more ambitious about what we are going to do ideally.
Let me go. I like these comments. I definitely think it needs some more work. Let me open a can of worms here, or not can of worms, but some inspiration. This is the manifesto, or an article written about making a manifesto, because we did not arrive at one. I guess this is it, but it's really huge. But look at this list here. I like these sentences. I will post a link, and I would also like for us to put some more work into this, and maybe we can use this one as inspiration. What people wrote here in the manifesto, and I give it to who's still left to go. Hannah, I think, is the only one left.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's definitely a good start and highlights important things that Giveth does. But I feel like a general rule of thumb that I've kind of tried to follow is like, don't list more than 3 adjectives in a row, just because people kind of like zone out. I feel like even though like free, easy, transparent, there were two other ones, but like I feel like easy maybe would be one of the first ones to go to, just because even though it is easy, it might be kind of self-explanatory, or like once they see like just like donate now button, like I mean, like we're definitely trying to make it easy, and just like if we take out some words, it'll emphasize others. Even though Giveth is trying to do like hundreds of great things, choosing just a few is really difficult, but that would be my thing. And I also really like, Kai, some of these, like I really like the last one. It's, I don't know, but I like a lot of them, and it is hard to get one statement down to everything, or to sum up everything. And I also liked Griff's comment about just saying we're a decentralized community. I think that kind of takes away some of the clutter, and that sums it up well. I think I was the last one.
Yeah, I'm noticing Lauren typing away over there. So curious what you guys think for a next step. I heard a few people say they need to think about it a little bit. I also see some inspiration happening with Lauren taking things and shifting them around, and that we like our first one and maybe could take a little bit from the second one and put them together.
Yeah, I think these are all great thoughts. I think it's clear that this draft is not going to be our final vision statement. And I think I agree. I actually like this prior vision statement that we had. We put together pretty recently, better as well. So I think what I'd like to propose as the next step is that it's seeming like we're not necessarily fighting over what the vision is necessarily, but we're debating over that, but more how can we craft a really awesome, powerful statement that encompasses all these great themes that we have aligned on. So what I would like to propose is basically that maybe the comms team just makes this one of the next action items on their plate, is to basically just take all this and craft it into a statement that they can propose to the community, to government.
I want to throw a little bit of a curveball out there, and there's one thing that I'd be curious if we want to add it in there that's not kind of in there. At least I haven't seen it in really previous thoughts, but like bringing the donation space into the blockchain world, like bringing the nonprofit world and educating them. I don't know, is that part of our mission or vision, or is that like out of scope? Is that too much?
I feel like that actually could be maybe good, because when I describe Giveth to people, especially people that aren't super into crypto, like they don't really, like blockchain's a bigger buzzword for them than decentralized, and just like kind of gets the point across of like, oh, we're utilizing this technology to make giving better. So that might be good for a different like crowd of people, but it also might get like technical. That's kind of my initial thought.
Yeah, I'm definitely open to it. The one reason I would shy against it, to play devil's advocate, is that blockchain is, it's a tool that we're using to enable this future, right? But it's like, it reminds me, I don't know, it'd be like using SQL in your vision statement, because SQL is like the database tool that you're building on. And I know it's a little bit different than that, but that would be the reason that I shy away from it. Blockchain is absolutely the best available tool and technology for us to achieve this vision. But is it part of our vision, or is our vision to build this future of giving? And we'll use whatever the best technology is. And right now it's blockchain, but 100 years from now, who knows what it will be.
This is a really, really good point. I'm so glad you brought it up, Griff, because often I feel like I'm alone in that little piece. Like, that's absolutely what I want to do. I want to bridge philanthropy to these technology tools. But to Willie's point, it shouldn't matter what you have or want to give. You should be able to give to what you want to support. So bridging all of the different funding streams that are available, including blockchain and crypto, and bridging that to fiat and making the on and off ramps possible so that projects can raise funds on Giveth from anywhere, receive anything. Like I've always felt really, really dedicated to that particular goal. To the point where this is really hard for me to have Giveth going forward without any of the fiat side yet still. So in my vision, yeah, absolutely. I would really like to see that bridge between the philanthropic world and these alternative funding streams be part of our vision.
Yeah, the education aspect. The education aspect is the part that I'm curious if we want to put that in our vision or mission. Just is it like what we're doing with tourists? We're onboarding people to this space. I don't know if I think it could be scope creep, and that it's not necessarily the thing, but it should be in the mix. At least I thought about, because I feel like we're starting to edge that direction.
That's a good point about the educational, stance, and that we're onboarding these nonprofits and these mutual aid organizations onto these tools. I'm open to it if it's that approach.
So when I think about the education side of it, it immediately leads me to collaboration with the rest of our galaxy and our partners, because there's other people doing the educational component. We're not actually producing educational material. I mean, I guess we are, because we do our live streams and stuff and to teach ourselves amongst ourselves. But I refer people to other people's videos and things to learn how to get on. But I'm doing it on behalf of Giveth. So we do have this hub aspect of our vision where we're connecting people to resources within the ecosystem.
Next.
Okay, so I did hear that it doesn't look like we're going to finish this. So when is our next meeting on the MVB? Are we going to meet again before the retreat, or should we focus on nailing this at the retreat? Or do you think we can tweak it here in another 15 minutes? I'd be game to play with it if you guys want to here and be able to say we finished this today, at least have something that we're carrying into the week, the retreat with.
Do we have anything else we need to talk about? Because I'm game to play with it unless there's anything else pressing.
So the other thing we wanted to talk about is how to pay Givethers going forward. Each month's been a little bit different in these last few months, and there's been some talk about a portal with Opolis. I don't know if that's something that can happen pretty quick or what we would want to do to explore it. No, that's not a next step. Okay.
The portal with Opolis is something that we could do it, but I don't know if that would help anyone get paid. It'd be more like helping people get insurance and stuff like that. We could try it. We could try it. I haven't explored it enough to really know how it would work.
Okay. Well, you mentioned to me, Griff, that you are looking to hire somebody to kind of handle getting all the payments done going forward.
Yeah, just to more like to keep track of it all, because for the Common Stack and in the Token Engineering Commons and Giveth and General Magic, I'm losing my mind. So I need someone to help keep everything in order. I'm going to interview someone tonight. Hopefully that works out. But it should reduce at least my workload on it. So that will help me a lot. But then still, eventually we should also start thinking about the future, like what happens when people when we have give tokens. How are we going to pay people with give tokens? Are we going to pay people with give tokens? Are we going to sell give tokens on the open market? Like, how are we? Yeah, we're going to need to consider how we're going to transition to a DAO payment structure.
Yeah. So, Griff, you and I, we talked last month that we would just switch to everybody XDAI. Is that how we went with this last month?
Yep.
Yeah. And is there anybody who has any objections to us using that approach, just to keep things at least simple within the Giveth ecosystem, that everybody receives their regular awards in XDAI? Mateo, you're able to receive crypto now? Yeah?
Nice. I think XDAI is great for now, but I think to Griff's point, I am looking forward to having these conversations around what it's going to look like in the Give world. We could still do give payments on the XDAI network because Give will be there, but eventually we should think about what it looks like to transition from Griff paying XDAI to everybody to the DAO paying Give.
Mm-hmm.
We have some time to figure it out, but we should have our plan ready by the time we launch the token, and maybe those are some of the first proposals to the DAO. Basically, just like we did proposals to our Give, doing those proposals to the Give DAO for regular Give rewards.
Right. Okay, so I think this will probably be an ongoing topic and something we should put onto our agenda for the retreat to be thinking about as part of the roadmap, an important part of the roadmap.
I would like to know what makes us sure that we can anticipate the economy, because to me it feels more like we would roll out Give and then over time transition as we see how. I mean, to me it's all a big experiment, but I'm not the biggest token engineer.
Well, when we roll out, when we roll out the token, our Give DAO will get fat stacks. So I mean, I could keep paying you guys, but that'd be kind of mean. Don't make me do that. Why are you doing that to me? You guys are rich now. We printed money. You guys should use it.
No, of course. I meant it more in the sense that it would fluctuate very much. So I just don't know how we would settle on any numbers, or do we settle? But this is probably part of the whole question journey.
Yeah, I mean, we should definitely, make some proposals and talk about it as where it's going from here. I will say that payments should just happen more frequently. Like in the Common Swarm, we get paid in honey, and we do payments every week, right, at that honey exchange rate. It's not ideal, especially since it takes time to get the honey. It's like a 24-hour vote. So in that 24 hours, things change. I mean, Ether's up 10% today. It just sucks using volatile currencies. But in the end, this is the decision space. Should our Give DAO be selling the token for XDAI, like OTC? Like maybe someone would like to buy, Give from our Give DAO for XDAI, and then we pay out in XDAI. I mean, there's a wide decision space that we can play with.
Yeah. It's really, that's one of the things that's on my mind. Like, is there anybody out there who would want to buy my Gitcoin tokens, for example? I need to liquidate. I need to actually pay for something. And I'm like, okay, I have this, but I don't actually want to sell it. I probably wouldn't want to sell my Give tokens either. I don't know. These are really interesting, exciting opportunities that also come with a lot of thought and structure.
is the proposal that all contributors would be paid in Give, which is not something that we can easily like trade or cash in a way. Because if that's the case, then yes, I would love to have a different option because I pay my monthly rent in crypto.
So
but I don't.
Give tokens will be very easy to trade into XDAI.
Okay.
That won't be a problem. There's more of an optics issue of the DAO itself dumping tokens on the market. That's like, that just is a little like, you know, it doesn't look good, right? It happens, but it doesn't look good. So there's but Give tokens will have liquidity mining, so there'll be a lot. It'll be easy to trade Give tokens.
Okay, I see. So that question was more, should Giveth pay people in XDAI, which would mean selling the Give tokens, or do we distribute Give tokens and let individual receivers do their liquidity mining and exchanges and whatever needs to happen on your own side? Which passes on the volatility somewhat.
Yeah.
Right. But we could get it down to like 1 day of volatility based on just the voting dates. But that is still one of the downsides. But it's the DAO's preference to pay out in Give tokens because that's what the DAO's going to have a ton of, right? But also part of the goal of this DAO too is that the DAO will be generating revenue, right? And that we can, in this future, given we're building, that donations that are sitting idly on the platform can generate interest, you know, in DAI or in XI, and we can choose whether we take those revenues and use those to pay out, or take those revenues and buy back Give tokens, which is also good for the Give market. So there's the possibilities here are pretty wide, but for sure, yeah, Forrest, we'll want to make sure that whatever we come up with is working for our contributors, right? Because if this payment structure isn't incentivizing and rewarding contributors, then we don't have a community, right? We don't have a strong community, so we'll have to come up with something that works for everybody.
Right. Okay, so it sounds like these are things we're going to put into our agenda for our retreat time. We'll work on having the proposal process. I'm curious if anybody dove into, Kai had expressed that we should really be taking a look at sociocracy a little bit more as to how it actually fits with our organization. I'm curious to know if anybody's looked at it and sees resistance points that we should consider. I personally enjoy using the process to guide us through these advice processes and making sure we're hearing everyone's opinion and proposal forming, and then using the DAO to finalize these proposals. But I'd like to hear if anybody has any concerns about that. Kai, you had mentioned some in the beginning.
I was all for it.
Oh, okay. When I was reading the notes, I thought you were saying there was some terminology that doesn't fit with us that we should look for. I didn't actually see.
Amenity. So I'm not sure. That's definitely not what I think. What I think is this terminology is great. It's not far off from what. It's very adapted from Holacracy, so it feels right at home. And reading through it, I just noticed that we don't talk in the same language anymore, but that language was, defined for better organization of people. And I think naming things is very powerful. That's you, Donnie, you said that in 1 second. And naming things is very magical. And so that's why I recommended everybody just read it, because then you get familiarized with the words and the terminology. So I'm all for it, but yeah.
Okay, good. I've been hearing it come up in some wonderful places, including some organizations that work with the government here in Costa Rica, the municipalities. Like, so a sociocracy is actually a very accepted term and respected term. So I'm a fan of considering it and continuing to use and deploy that in how we make our decisions. I'm just going to pop back to the agenda and take a look here. We've got a few minutes left.
I just want to ask something, if you have time.
Please go ahead.
I'm pretty sure that local developers in the Middle East, especially, don't know how's going about the DAO and this plan that we have. I think it's related to their onboarding process. Even me, it's not very much more clear that how this proposal is going, and how we can distribute tokens to votes or upvotes, and how to write a proposal. I just want to ask if you have time, any of you, please describe it more in a meeting for everyone that can join and know what's going on there. Thank you.
I really appreciate that, Monique. That's a great suggestion for where to go forward. I would love actually to do that, to share Mitch has just kind of gone through it. We just kind of did an example of it where an idea was formed that we want to make a change and we want everyone's opinion to be heard so we can make a good decision. Then fleshing out that proposal. I'm sure we have some other things coming up we'll want to follow that with, and I'd be happy to walk through what that looks like to actually create a proposal, where to post it, where to propose it for the advice process like we just did with GitHub. And make that more clear and I guess documented. I guess
the
now that
advice process?
Yeah, the process we just did, for example, with the Giveth proposal.
There is a document.
There's a document specific to the advice process, but what about the overall proposal process, of which the advice process is just a section, right? Bringing it to a meeting, making sure there's enough support for this to come forward, and then having it as a topic, forming our actual proposal, running it through the advice process, doing a poll, getting it up on the DAO. I don't actually think we have that whole thing documented.
No. I think we're in the process of shaping it again, so we should document it as soon as we feel like we nailed it down. Could be still smoother. Not sure if GitHub is the right place. I saw from this first proposal, for example. We have a forum now that could be also a good spot for, because then and later this can be hooked up to the conviction voting, as far as I understand.
That's a great point.
Well, and I wanted to bring that up too, as we get the gardens on Rinkeby and we get to start testing that and playing around with how to create those proposals. I think it might be a little bit more clear once it's available for us to actually start creating those proposals on the conviction voting DAO.
I'm sorry, I was just saw Mitch's notes, so my brain went somewhere else. But we've got like 2 minutes. I do absolutely agree. So I think that's an important thing to close on here is we just got the new discourse forum. And we need to get some topics and introductions in there. And why don't we make this sociocracy and proposal process part of discourse, since that's what's going to be what we have to use to participate in gardens. Forum.giveth.io. All right, let's carry the conversation over into that. I think that's a really great idea. I'm going to actually open a couple of topics on the forum based on what's in our governance agenda and what we've talked about here today. And Hannah, can you and I chat after this meeting? Or maybe stay on here for a moment?
Yeah, let's do it.
Amazing. All right, any final closing thoughts? Anything else you guys want to share, or we should put a pin in for our next, I guess our next meeting we're going to be in person, right?
Some of you.
Some of us will, and some of us will
bring,
and then we'll bring you guys in for this call next week. All right, thanks everyone. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I just put in a note for the pan distribution, if there's anything new on that.
And Hannah, yeah, I'm going to stay on with Hannah after this and get some answers from her on how to get that finalized.
Okay.
Amazing. Danny, I have a quick question. Is there somewhere that we're tracking like the retreat itinerary or like a channel that we should be posting about like gathering kind of stuff in?
I don't know.
I'll make a channel because in the past it has been great to be able to chat with people. The example is, hey, I'm outside. Where is everyone? Do you have a key? No, I don't have a key. Who's awake? Should I, you know? So we'll just make a channel that's hidden for you guys, internal.
Yeah, I think that having the internal communication channel is essential, but let's use our forum.giveth.io for the public conversation about what we're going to be talking about at the retreat to everybody. Let's create a retreat item on the forum. Awesome. Okay, thank you. Sticking around here for a minute. See you guys later.
Bye.
Yeah.
You're going